What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745. And continuing where we left off yesterday, today we're going to examine Fatal Finish teams. Hold on to your hats because this one's going to be a wild ride. Now, Fatal Finish teams consist of 3 blasters with the Fatal Finish Empowered ISO 8 from the store. It costs 20 gold each. So I actually had to invest quite a bit just to make this video. Now, what this E-ISO does is it says when knocked out, all enemies take damage. This is completely working as intended, but the damage from it is pretty insane. It makes it very difficult to lose with this team. All you have to do is make sure you do a little bit of damage, and then just your characters being knocked out is at least going to get you a draw. So when you're facing a Fatal Finish team, make sure you have a lot of health before knocking them out. Even when I did that though, I still saw a draw once, and it made me scratch my head. But anyways, let's go ahead and see it in action. The reason we're using Angerer and Quicksilver is because you're most certainly going to get some damage on the enemies. And that's really all we need, is just a bit. Quicksilver is going to be going first, so just spread around a little bit of damage. And by the way, adding the Mauling A-ISO to his level 1, which applies flanked, definitely helps out. As for Damon, or I should say Angerer, remember he has that purge thing, that even if they prevent debuffs, he's going to deal some damage right now. I'm not sure if that should be working that way, but you will most certainly see that happen against the AI. They always take advantage of it. So believe it or not, with just those 2 things, you're going to deal plenty of damage to blow up the enemy team. By the way, we are doing all of this in practice mode, so no points are being lost by these enemy teams. The one we're facing currently has an insane attack, but right away they cause a Fatal Finish from Damon. Spitfire isn't even close to done though. So next she's going to attack our Quicksilver, and she blows him up as well. Watch our opponent's health after this second explosion. It absolutely gets decimated, and now only my agent remains. But before that, the enemy agent gets to attack, and he one-shots my agent with the Mystic. So that massive beatdown by this dude that must have an incredible armory, well, it just ends up a draw. No problem. And I do think many of you know this, but I did upgrade my armory for this season, and we went really high attack. But this guy's attack blows mine away. It should, since he has 17 Deathlock Fists in there, plus all level 15 blasters. But hey, we got a draw. Fatal Finish did exactly what it's supposed to do. I figured we'll look at another really good example of this. So once again, Quicksilver is going to go first, and we'll try to damage Angerer, who also has Fatal Finish. So he has Fatal Finish, and he's going to do that purge thing to our team. So we kind of get to see everything wrapped up in one. It's cool when different components of the ridiculous PvP mini-series come together. But like I said, none of these things are exploits. They're just parts of PvP right now. It's all up to PD if they want to look at any of these things and maybe apply, I guess what you would call a fix. Certainly a change. Let's put it that way. This team though is obviously pretty solid, and they have some intangible going on, which we're going to look at later. Don't worry, we have a video planned for that as well. Like I said, we're going to cover a lot of the most ridiculous teams and setups in PvP right now. So that's going to take on quite a few shapes and forms. Now, one great thing that goes with Fatal Finishes pretty well is something like the Smothering Shadow that applies dots. Those dots will easily get the enemies within range, and then we'll blow them up if they take us out. So you see, if they don't finish us, we're going to win anyways. But if they do knock us out, then we're taking them with us. I see it as a win-win. Now on our Damon's turn, we are going to purge the enemy team, but at least they're not preventing debuffs right now, so it doesn't trigger right away. The bad news for them though is we're going to try to possess them next. So let's see if we can get anyone to attack their own teammate. And right away Null takes the bait, but he misses and gets an extra turn. So it sort of worked out for them. The AI Angerer, by the way, is not going to miss out on an opportunity. They're going to begin with the Act of Darkness. And this means Purge is going to get triggered on the very next action. So let's see what they do. Well, There it goes, and they try a dominatrix. Fortunately, we shouldn't be getting possessed here, so at least they wasted that action. Now at this point, you can see my enemy team's actually hurt enough to be taken down by a fatal finish team. So that's all you needed. As for them, Null may need a little bit more damage, and then their agent as well. At this point, I would say Null's definitely within range, and it's time to start working on that blaster agent. Now the E3 blaster costume is pretty perfect for fatal finish, but I don't have it yet. It needs to be one of my top priorities. So as soon as I can, I will get it. Not for fatal finish, but just because it's awesome. As for this match, we're going to go ahead and try some more dots, hopefully bringing down that enemy agent. And my agent's pretty close to death, so he's about to go boom. I wasn't sure if I wanted to hold them back from finishing us, or if I wanted to kind of let it happen. In these two matches though, I really didn't have to force it. Oh, and one other thing that's very odd right now, on a summon magic attack, we actually follow up that flanked. So that's pretty odd, but I've noticed it has been happening. After that, the enemy Null is going to hit us with a World Breaker, which certainly won't help our health. However, Quicksilver is going to finish him off. We still have Meteor Swarm, by the way. So another pretty interesting occurrence. That's been going on though. If you kill him with a counterattack, it remains. That issue really needs fixed though, it's pretty old. As for this match, it looks like we could really outright win it, but that wouldn't showcase fatal finish. So hopefully they do beat us. Well, draw us. On Anger's turn, we'll use his summon on the agent. And he's pretty hurt at this point, but he still has 20k HP. Next up, the enemy Angerer holds on. So with his turn, he's going to do the same attack right back. For that, he'll take a lot of bleeding, but he is still healing as well. And for his next action, well, it looks like he's going to do his other summon, but at least we're going to stop the initial damage. So Angerer versus Angerer is pretty common, but it's kind of interesting. You don't want to get stuck with those two facing off against only each other though. That's what happened to a friend of mine, and it just doesn't go well. For my team though, they have begun exploding, and only Damon remains. So after the agent attacks, we're going to go down to dots, and with that final explosion, we get another draw. There it is, the fatal finish EISO, and how it's being used quite often in PvP. I'm not pushing it and I'm not condemning it, I'm just saying it's one of the many ridiculous things going on in PvP right now. After this, there's going to be a lot more to come, so keep checking back, make sure you subscribe, please like and comment. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, good luck and take care.